Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Pal Over Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new, long-awaited Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine painting video. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, drop me a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys. It goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, in this video, I want to introduce to you my homebrew Storm host for the Stormcast Eternals from Stormbringer magazine, and they are an offshoot of a more well-established Storm host. So, without further ado, I introduce to you the Celestial Hunters. So, with these guys, the Celestial Hunters are an offshoot of the Celestial Vindicator Storm host, with some subtle differences. So their armour is very similar coloured, just a few different changes to things like the robes and such like, and they are a group that focus mostly on hunting the enemies of Sigmar, the God King, including beasts in Gur, Nighthaunt in Shyish, and many more, which is why they have a more of a neutral colour for their armour scheme. So genuinely, I've enjoyed painting this scheme, and I'm still painting up a load more, like the Chariot and Xandire's Truth Seekers, and there'll be many more in the very near future. But yeah, really good stuff. I genuinely do enjoy painting Stormcast Eternals. They're quite good fun overall, and I decided I wanted to do something slightly different than just the Lions of Sigmar, which is my main Storm host that I did for Mortal Realms magazine, and yeah, something a bit different. So no gold and purple in the, well, there is still gold, no gold and mainly gold and purple colour scheme on this one, should I say. Anyway, without further ado, without me waffling on too much longer, shall we crack on with some painting of this Knight-Arcanum. Now, before we jump into it though, I do want to quickly say thank you very much for watching these videos, and you will need to bear with this one. Some of the cuts are quite rough, because in all honesty my camera angle is terrible, and I recorded this several months ago, and going back through the footage, yeah, it leaves a bit to be desired, and there are some steps that I have actually missed as well, so I must not just have recorded them very well. So it is what it is. But anyway, let's crack on with it. So, our Knight-Arcanum started off with a base coat of Abaddon Black, as with all the other Stormcast Eternals I did in this scheme. And for this, I am utilising Thousand Suns Blue over the top, which is a lovely teal colour, just for that armour plating. So it kind of matches the Celestial Vindicators. Then, over the top of this, you can't see it very clearly, but I am using Ahriman Blue over the top of the Thousand Suns Blue. Now, later on, I do change the order that this goes in, so the shade is over the top and then the Ahriman Blue over the top of that. But this works exactly the same way. It has a very similar colour scheme to it, and I genuinely like the colours. It's really nice. And then it was time to shade it down and get into all them recesses with Colia Green shade. A lovely colour, especially when you're going over blues. Genuinely lovely. You'd think it's going to be very greeny for, as it's called, a green shade, but it actually is more blue than green. So really lovely stuff. And then for the edge highlights, I use Temple Guard Blue as well. A nice bright colour, brighter than Ahriman Blue, and it works very nicely for those edge highlights. And then there's all these little metal accent pieces on things like van braces and the knee pads and such like. And for this I wanted something different, so I went with lead belcher over these. So there is a nice silver breakup in all of that colour, and it genuinely works wonders. It works even better on the things like the gorget around the neck, and for certain little side panels on certain Stormcasts as well, that it works really nicely with. And then obviously you're going to need to edge highlight that, so a bit of Stormhost Silver goes a very long way when you're utilising it over lead belcher. And then, because I wanted to keep black and dark cloaks, over this, you can't see it very clearly, but I'm using Eshin Grey over things like the raised areas. I actually changed this to Corvus Black later on, and it looks far better in all honesty. And then with a slight edge highlight of things like Dawnstone and Administratum Grey, works wonders. And then it's time to paint up that face and the skin areas. So first off, I'm using Corax White to neutralise the black, and it does exactly the right job. So this is a technique that some magazines will teach you, utilising Corax White and then a wash of Reichland Flesh Shade over the top, or you can use the contrast of Guilliman Flesh if you wanted to, and it does work wonders for pale skin. So definitely worth a shot at least. And then, talking of shades, I actually went back over all their metal areas that I've done with the Lead Belcher and Stormhost Silver with Nuln Oil, just to darken them down a little bit and kind of neutralise how bright that steel looked. And then it's time to do all the leather areas. So for the belts, buckles, the good old scabbard for the sword, I wanted it to be a brown leather, so I went with Mournfang Brown over these areas, and we'll change it up a little bit later and you'll see exactly why I've done this soon. And then I moved on to gold. So there are gold little accents for things like around certain gems, things like the Sigmar face on the shoulder pads and such like, and for this I used Retributor armor because it's a very nice shade of gold, isn't it? It works just exactly how you want it to when you need it to, so definitely worth trying out with that. And then over all of that I went with Nuln Oil because it just does exactly what you need it to do. Darkens the recesses, changes the complexion of a lot of it, makes them seem a little bit more tarnished as well. I also did this over the leather areas, so those Mournfang Brown areas like the scabbard, the belts and such like. A bit of Nuln Oil goes a long way, makes them look really, really good. And then it's time to go over that kind of tassel-y area, which I used Rakkar Flesh on this. It works wonders. If you wanted to use Xandri Dust, you can do. It does exactly the same job, but Xandri Dust does actually look a little bit better in my opinion. But you know, Rakkar Flesh does just exactly what you need it. Then no shades. I just wanted to go over with Wraithbone, and it works. It does a really nice job of highlighting those areas, just going over those raised areas with Wraithbone and over the pages of the book that she's carrying as well. It's definitely worth a try. And then, because carrying scrolls, books and such like, a bit of Seraphim Sepia to go over the top just breaks up all that colour and makes it seem a little bit more dated and older and such like as well. So definitely worth a try with that. And then for the book, Corn Red as a base coat does a lot of work, so definitely worth trying. And I also used Corn Red on the base coat of all the gems, like the one in the centre of the chest, and on the staff, and the pommel of and the scabbard of a sword and such like, and it works very, very nicely. And then lastly, I'm actually painting the hair here with Averland Sunset. So this is a blonde Knight-Arcanum. There are other ways of doing it, obviously, so you can enhance your colouring with other bits and pieces, so a bit of burnished gold or anything like that, or whatever the other one was called, I can't even remember nowadays. Some little bits of Baneblade Brown over the leather areas as well to kind of give them that scuffed look and help kind of change the complexion of it. Goes a long way. It does a very, very good trick, and you can make a very, very nice Stormcast Eternal look pretty damn cool in all the armour and leather. Now, I'm not going to lie, all the footage recorded for this was recorded around the time when issue 1 came out, so yeah, the footage isn't the greatest. The camera angles do get better occasionally, and sometimes I just do miss them because I'm too busy carried away in the painting, so it's just slightly off camera, which isn't the fun bit. Now, if you want to enhance the colour of your item, of your good old soldier, of course, using edge highlighting could go very, very well. So using your base colours like your corn red and such like does a nice job. If you want to go better over your corn red, a bit of things like Wazdaka red or something like that goes a very, very long way to enhance the colour of them books. And I also used the red on leather straps for things like the kind of grip of the staff and the handle of the sword and such like. And yeah, I think it does the right job. It looks really, really good in my opinion. I have enjoyed doing this, and it's definitely a colour scheme I like, so definitely worth a try. But for that said, thank you very, very much for watching. There will be more of these videos. There are at least 2 more lined up, and then we'll go back into some good old green skins and such like at some point soon, and hopefully some other bits. But anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. I will see you sometime soon, and bye bye now.